We have Aveek joining us from Aveek Sat Financials. Aveek Mitra is founder and chief advisor, and of course, our dear friend. Aveek, I want to start our chat with something which is becoming talk of the town right now: elevated valuations of some PSUs. Have you analyzed PSUs? Have you invested in PSUs? Any of them? Are you booking out? What's your take? Today, Kotak came out with a note cautioning that most parts of PSUs are getting expensive.
Yeah, good evening again, and thanks for inviting me. Unfortunately, we missed the rally, so we don't want to tell that we have identified this rally early. So, and at the same time, we really don't know on this particular matter that what is really going on. And but on defense side, I think those PSUs are looking good. Possibly, we are not invested, nor its recommendation. And maybe this rally will continue for some time. We never know. And now I have been told that one mutual fund is coming out with this PSU kind of funds or something like that. I'm not.
Yes, that's correct. I think you're referring to Quant. Yes, they are launching a PSU fund.
Yeah.
I want to
this
talk to
can
you
run some
about
currency.
one particular part of PSU. Right now, India Energy Week is going on in Goa. Yesterday, Prime Minister Modi inaugurated it and announced $70 billion worth of investment he sees coming in the Indian energy space. I want to talk about OMCs versus upstream companies. Which side do you see more value? And I'm also taking into account, say, a Petronet LNG, gas utilities. So, out of the three energy pockets, where do you see opportunity here in India?
So I think we are really constructive on the areas of renewable, basically, and on the renewable and also on the LNG and PNG. So these are the areas where we are studying. We are trying to look for investments, but not directly into those companies, but to some suppliers, to some kind of guys who are in the private space and supplying and making money out of that, rather than directly looking into it. Like for example, say somebody is supplying meter to the for smart metering, or say somebody is supplying turbines uh, for a wind project or things like that. So those are the areas we are keen on. But specifically, and then the theme is very large. And theme is internationally we are committed to go for renewables. Indian government is very proactive and very forthcoming on making this as a very big priority. Keeping that in mind, I think this is a very long-term story to continue. And but we are not looking into the kind of companies which are actually doing it. We are looking into the peripheries of it, which will get benefited out of this transition.
Examples. I'm giving you a disclosure that we are not discussing your stock picks or anything, but just to understand which companies could be the periphery company which you're referring to.
Say for a company like say Inox Wind Energy, or say a company like Suzlon, or a company like Genus Power, company this kind of companies which may be having some kind of potential, which can uh, uh, really do well. So there will be Sterling and Wilson. So I'm just giving names. Huh? These are neither recommendations nor our investments, but these are names just to give an idea about how we are looking into this sector.
And these are just, of course, just for example purpose. Okay. Apart from that, I want to understand your take on the PSU banks versus private banks debate. Tomorrow's policy, the expectations are that it could be a dovish policy because the borrowing number in the budget was lower, the deficit number was lower. So one is getting a sense of how do you play lenders? Do you have any lenders in your portfolios?
No, actually, last time we discussed with you also, we told that we are not very constructive on the banking space, but we have invested in one company which was actually where the promoters are investing money. The key promoters are investing money. It is a small bank selling at a cheap valuation. So we thought that we will have it and keep it within our radar. Now, coming to this private bank versus government bank kind of a debate. I think entire banking space is having a problem of basically garnering deposit at a reasonable cost, because as you have seen that our credit growth is growing at a rate of 16% or around, and deposit growth is at about 13%. So the cost, people are investing into mutual funds and stocks. So that money would have gone to banks otherwise. So in this kind of a situation, this is one side of a problem, and the other side of a problem is banks have to really chase each other for a pool of clients for whom they are finding it credit worthy. We may be having a large pool of credit will taking people, but at the time of giving the credit, the kind of CIBIL score or the kind of income criteria which they look for is getting a little tougher for them. So this space will become a little complex space to really find out a company to invest in. And PSU versus private, we don't have a debate, because I think there is a fantastic improvement on the PSU Banks balance sheet and PSU's bank working over the last decade since this new government has come in. So that part that actually can really deserve a re-rating of these PSU banks, because, and also if you notice the PSU bank, the kind of continuity of people are there, so that gives a kind of stability to these banks' performance and the banks working. And I have no particular view. That I think that if I actually go for buying a bank, I will buy a PSU bank rather than a private bank.
Okay, fair point. So you would buy a PSU bank versus something else right now. So what have you added in your portfolio last? What are you researching closely right now, or are you trimming?
We haven't trimmed anything since the time we last talked, but whatever incremental money which we have got, we have invested into two companies. One is into the areas of actually selling footwears, and they're a demerged entity from older entity. And we found that their growth is quite reasonable, and they are selling at a valuation which is cheaper. Second company, we have invested in a real estate company based out of Mumbai, who have also come out with a good set of results and having a projection of actually doubling their gross developmental value in next 3 years, and then doubling it further for the coming 3 years. And we find that since this is Mumbai is the biggest market, and on any parameters like per square feet to number of projects launched to absorption rate and things like that. So we have invested in that real estate company. So these are the two new investments which we have made out of the incremental money which we have received. But we haven't trimmed any position. We want to ride the trend. So till the time this party lasts, we want to be there.
Interesting that you speak about real estate, Aveek, because there is a very interesting real estate company based out of NCR, your own backyard, which you may want to study very closely. If the last 2-3 quarters since they got listed, the numbers are any guide, I'm talking about Signature Global.
Signature Global?
Correct. That was, you also had that name on your mind. Rajat Kathuria, who's also listening to you right now, and he would be joining right after this very short break. But interesting, you had that name on your mind, Aveek. Good one. You can read our mind, huh? You know how we track emerging fast-growing companies in each sector. Thanks for joining us, Aveek, today. So Rajat Kathuria is waiting by, and he'll be joining us right after this break. Thanks, Aveek. Have a great day.
Thanks.